We are watching Lily's freestyle above the water. Commentary by Coach Chris. I'm going to let this run through real quick so we can watch her stroke in real time. It's a good turn. Lily has a lot of great skills, and there's just a few things we can clean up on this freestyle that'll really help her increase her top speed and her efficiency on it. Above the water, things look fairly clean. A few things we look for when I'm watching the above water view on freestyle is this recovery. We're going to let her do a few strokes. I really like her head position, especially on the breath. You can see here she turns her head. She's breathing in the pocket. You can see only half her mouth. You can only see one goggle. This is a very good breathing position. So breathing low is key, especially as she gets tired. And if we watch, even though she's breathing to the right, she's keeping a fairly still head as she brings the left arm around. Now, one thing I want to talk about, and I notice this a lot and we've talked about it before, she has a tendency on this freestyle, and we'll see it on the other above water video. See how she brings this arm around real low to the water? She's going to push through, and you can see she's not even fully extended because her arm is bent. What we're looking for is a full push through to a straight arm. So she's cutting off, several inches of pull, which is key to increasing power, because the power of the pull is at the back of the stroke. And as she gets tired, she's going to actually pull that hand out earlier and earlier. Fairly common for athletes of this age. Now, if you look at this arm in this path, you can see it kind of here. The arm and elbow and everything staying real low to the water as she sweeps around. It's almost circular, like a butterfly stroke, which makes sense because she's a very solid butterflyer. But if you watch really high-level freestylers, they're going to get that elbow up a little more on top. So where we have the elbow kind of here, top-level freestyler is going to have it that high. It's going to be several inches higher. And what she needs to focus on in order to achieve that position, again, pushing all the way through to that straight arm and letting that elbow lift up just a little bit higher before bringing the arm around. See, she starts bringing the arm around as soon as that hand comes out. That hand's coming out, that arm's coming around. You want to follow through a little more, push through the surface, let the elbow and arm come up into the air, and then once you're high in the air, you start bringing it around. So just bringing it around a little too early. Solid kick. And you can kind of see it on this one. She's got a straight arm, which would normally be good, but a straight arm for her position right here on her side would be almost vertical, almost like a backstroke stroke. But you can see she's reaching away from her down the pool, very low to the water. Again, it's almost like her butterfly stroke. It gets a little higher, but it's not the path of a top-level freestyler. And, when you look at those big freestylers, especially in the sprints, they're getting almost backstroke-like as far as how high over the water they're coming. Now, that doesn't mean she has to get that high with a straight arm, but one thing you're going to want to do, and we have another angle to look at that, is just get the elbow up higher. And you can have that bent arm like she has here. She just needs a higher elbow. Again, talking about the good, this is a very low breath. Very low breath. That's what we look for in our breathing, and it's what creates a stability in her head position. She's excellent at the breathing. It's just this low recovery. You can see it coming around. See that circular path it's taking? It goes kind of around the water, almost like a fly stroke. It's just, and one of the reasons why we try to get out of that is because it puts us a lot of strain on those arm muscles and shoulder muscles. and she's used to swimming it, so she doesn't quite feel the strain as much as she would if she was out of shape trying to swim with this stroke. But because she's in great shape and she's used to it, she feels the fatigue in her races, and she'll feel it during practice, but she won't realize exactly how much work it is because she's used to it. But it's a lot of work, and you can see how low that hand is to the water here as it comes over. It's just a very low stroke. Very, very common, especially among girls of this age. Very common. Going into the turn. This is a really solid turn. Straight over. Boom. Lands. Comes off the wall. And we'll look at that closer underwater. But one of the things I like most about Lily's stroke and her freestyle and her backstroke, she has very, very solid fundamentals on the walls. You know, and a lot of this is hard to get at this age. But as we come through, you know, she's getting the feet over. She's getting a good solid plant. I mean, she's hitting, look at all that water and energy hitting. You know, you don't see that a lot of times with the younger kids. Tight streamline. There's really, really effective kick out. Now, one thing I would talk about, and we'll talk about it more underwater, you know, she's coming up a little bit at an angle. You can see the angle of her body is kind of, you know, coming up and over the water. That's good, but we talk about in streamlining, you want to come up but maintain a level position with the body. You know, and it's, Coach Brian calls it balancing up, which is a good term. You want to stay horizontal as you rise up through the water. You don't want to plane up so much so that you're, you know, so you're pointing at the surface. And here we can see she's just getting a little bit too much up. Now the breakout's solid, and she's got a great kick. She's kicking into her breakout. But if we can just kind of keep that streamline flatter, we'll have a little bit more forward acceleration on that breakout. Again, above water, you know, the real things I look at are breathing. She does an excellent job breathing. Lily, you do a great job. You breathe low. And the other thing I look for is the recovery. How high she's getting that elbow. Now, in this angle on this right arm, this is a good stroke, but she's actually coming to the end of this one of her final strokes, so she's actually taking a stroke she doesn't normally take. You know, she gets higher on that breathing stroke, but when she's not breathing, it's going to stay really low. And when she breathes to the right, that left arm is going to stay extra low and swing around. So that's stuff to think about, and we'll have another angle, a forward angle, where we look at that. But right now we're going to look underwater and talk about her pull and take a good close look at her kick out, her streamline, and all the real nitty-gritty details. So awesome job above water. Let's get those elbows and the recovery of the arms up higher and try and get over the water more with those arms.